Hey folks, I'm Unleaded Logic. Welcome to another game review, and we are covering Halo ODST, which came out this week. I picked my copy up at 12 midnight on Tuesday, and I did not pre-order my copy. I know lots of people pre-ordered their copy at GameStop, and they were all excited about the Sergeant Johnson character that they can use in firefight mode, but I really didn't care for that, and then as it turns out, you can unlock him if you beat it on Legendary anyways. So, wasn't really interested in that. I got mine at a Meijer, got there at 12:01 and got out by 12:07. So, if you're not interested in the pre-order gifts and you're looking to just get in, get out, go to 24-hour store. I mean, you're not missing anything. ODST came out in two editions, the regular $60 edition, and then there was a $100 edition, and the only thing special about that was that it came with a Halo ODST wireless Xbox 360 controller. Having tons of wireless 360 controllers, well 4 of them to be exact, I really didn't feel the need to pick up anymore, so I had no interest in spending $100 or something like that. It wasn't like the Halo 3 Legendary Edition, which to me was a very, very cool special edition. But Bungie's had about a year to work on this game, a little bit more than that, and I wasn't as hyped up for this game as I have been with other Halo games. Which is understandable because, I don't know, Halo Wars was good, I really liked that, and I actually enjoyed it thoroughly, but I had a feeling that ODST wasn't going to meet my expectations of it, and I was actually correct. The general gist of Halo ODST is it takes place between 2 and 3. You drop in on your mission on Earth, on the city, the African city, right as Master Chief is following the Covenant ship into Slipstream to the new Halo ring. And Slipstream, of course, is like hyperspace, and because they did it in a city, it pretty much demolished a good portion of the city. So you take the role of the rookie, the ODST, the kind of the new guy on the squad, thus the name of the rookie. And it's right after the aftermath of that, and you're kind of just wandering the city looking for your teammates. And the way Bungie did it in this game was, instead of just doing a stage-by-stage basis, they kind of left it open, so you travel from point to point on this big open city map, and you find kind of relics of your teammates, and you kind of have flashbacks as you pick these relics up. Now, the concept on paper is cool, but Bungie made this city very, very, very boring. I mean, obviously I know it's dark and it's rainy out, but it just feels so bleak and uninteresting. And the city, the layout, even with the map, is very confusing. I mean, a lot of times you'll be following your compass and it'll point in one general direction, and you gotta kind of find your way through the walls and hills and everything. There's lots of closed doors, so as open as this city is, it is also very constricting, if that makes any sense whatsoever. And I kind of found it as a turn-off. But you go through the kind of the moments of the other squad members as they drop, and they fill in little bits of storyline. And storyline-wise, it really doesn't develop anything new in the Halo franchise itself. There's nothing that would make it go, oh yeah, so that's what was going on during Halo 3, and that explains that. I mean, there's two big moments that come in like that, but for the most part, the story is almost kind of stale, really. It just focuses on the squad and never really develops into anything big. I'm not going to ruin the ending for you, but the ending was very uneventful. The last stage was very uneventful. I thought there was going to be something big coming on the lines, and really it just felt like a rehash of 2 and 3. Really 2. One of the stages is 2, and when you play it you'll understand. Graphically, along with the cutscenes in the game still looks like Halo 3, which after a couple of years does kind of look a little dated. And cutscenes, the characters just look weird. Their heads are very blockish. They just don't look quite right, so it kind of throws you off, especially after looking at a game like Gears of War 2, where the characters are very well defined. Bungie really didn't seem to upgrade the engine too much for this thing. So sound-wise, Marty of course did an excellent job on the soundtrack, like he always does. It's not his best, but it's still Marty O'Donnell, and it still sounds like a Halo game, which is awesome. Control, They actually took out dual wielding, which I thought was really strange. And they added the X button as a kind of like a 3D visor where you pull up images and blocks and stuff like that, and you can do a radar, because there's no actual radar in the game. So this was kind of a trade-up for that. It's very handy in dark levels, obviously, but in a lot of the light levels you'll accidentally turn it on and you'll be blinded. And it gets pretty annoying sometimes. So all in all, there is a lot of stuff that Bungie really could have did to make this game a lot more interesting. I mean, they could have tied in a lot of more events that are actually going on with Halo 2 and Halo 3 storyline-wise. And they also could have branched out some of the objectives more. I mean, it's pretty much you go from point A to point B. There's not a lot of deviation from that, from just shooting a couple guys down and then moving forward. There's nothing really interesting battle-wise. You've done it in Halo 2, you've done it in Halo 3. And I think, again, you know, I've said this a couple times in this video already, but they could have tied more events with Halo 2 and Halo 3. I think it would have been really cool if the last mission would have been finding the pod that Master Chief was coming down on and trying to find him and get to him before they ended the game, and kind of tie it in that way. I think that would have been really cool. I think the end-all awesome feature that they should have put in after the credits rolled was let you play the actual final level of Halo 2 that was not put in Halo 2 because they didn't have time to finish it. If you watch the Halo Legendary commentary from the Halo 3 disc, they actually say near the credits, well, should we talk about the level that was supposed to be in here that we didn't have enough time to do? And they say, nah, we won't. I think it would have been really cool if they would have kind of flashed Halo 2 back really quick and did that level and had that last boss fight that was supposed to be in the game and just make it really cool. I think it would be an awesome fan service to the fans, I really do. But that doesn't happen, unfortunately. Let's talk about multiplayer. Firefight. Firefight is fun for about 45 minutes and then gets extremely repetitive and extremely boring. There are no maps that are actually new compared to the campaign. They just took bits and pieces of campaign maps and used that for the firefight scenes. There's no mission objectives. There's nothing other than combat, and after a few waves of enemies, it's just not interesting. You can only mow down Covenant and have so much fun, especially when you're limited to grunts, jackals, and brutes. There are no elites in this game whatsoever, which I found really strange. I know they turned on each other in at the end of Halo 2, Halo 3, but they don't even show them on Earth, which, if I recall, in Halo 2, you didn't see brutes at all until you actually got to the Halo Ring World, but it has been a while, so maybe I'm incorrect. But Firefight is, it almost just feels like it's hack-on, and it's not that interesting. Now, you do get the complete Halo 3 multiplayer experience with your purchase of ODST. And that's great, but chances are, if you're picking up ODST, you already have Halo 3, you already have the majority of the maps except the ones that came as a bonus with this disc. For 60 bucks, that is not worth it. At least it's not worth it to me. Halo ODST is a $30 game in my opinion, and even that's a little bit of a stretch, and Bungie could have just thrown on those extra maps on the disc and they still would have made their money. If you're a new Halo fan or you rented it and you've never picked up Halo 3 or the maps, then it's definitely worth picking up because then you get all the Halo 3 maps. But if you own Halo 3, there's almost no point to the second disc other than midship. So overall, giving this game a review, I gotta give it a 3 out of 5 stars. It's an alright game. It's not a terrible game. It just brings nothing new to the franchise and would be better rented to quickly play through than pay 60 bucks for. I mean, I beat it in 7 hours. It is definitely the shortest Halo game I've ever played. So, a very disappointing Halo game. Not bad, not great, just good. So, if you haven't picked it up yet, I'd say rent it first, get it from Gamefly or something like that. I'm Unleaded Logic, and that's the truth. See you later.